Hello, year two. Welcome back. This is week 7, lesson 2. So, remembering what we looked at last lesson, we found out that there was an underground collection of these statue warriors. This like army looking thing underground. And I asked you last lesson to have a really good think about what on earth these would even be doing there. They were found in 1974, but they look very old, and I've got no idea why they'd be there. Well, today's lesson, we're going to find out about all of that. So well done for making your prediction if you did that last lesson. Let's move on and find out for what these are actually about. So, these are ancient warriors were made over 2,000 years ago. They were ordered to be built by Emperor Qin. Some of them were 5'11", which is, if you know me, that's a little bit shorter than myself. And then some of the soldiers were as tall as 6'7". Now that is a lot taller than me. The soldiers were all different. There wasn't one soldier that was the same as another soldier. They all had different ranks, and a rank, when you're part of an army, a rank is a like who's in charge. So you've got maybe like an officer, and then you've got someone above that officer that then tells them what to do. Yeah. So then they all had different ranks on their arms. They then all had different facial features. So some of them might have a larger face, a smaller face. They might have different facial hair, which is like a mustache or a beard or a really long pointy mustache that came all the way down here, or a really big beard. Some of them might have a calm face. Some of them might have a really angry face, as if they're ready for war. Sorry, miss, I'm doing a recording. I shall pause. And these soldiers were all different, which meant that you would have none of them that were exactly the same. Now let's have a look at some of them. Oh, final fact, there were over 8,000 of them. So it looked like there was lots of them, 8,000 of them that were all life-size. So as you can see over here, just under me, this is what some of the warriors look like. And you can see they're all different. Now, this one's kneeling. This one, you can see us standing up. You can see the height difference, how some are taller than the other ones, but you can see how they've all got different looking faces. Some are thin, some are larger, some of them have got really long beards, as I was saying, some of them don't. Some of them have got very cross faces, and some of them are quite calm looking. And you can see that they've actually got different types of clothing as well. And we'll look at that in the next slide. The soldiers even had real weapons like daggers, crossbows, maces, spears, and swords. And they were made of hard clay, which is baked in a kiln. They would have made them as wet clay. So you would have got your clay, you would have put water on it, you would have wet it, and you would have molded it. So they would have done like the legs, and maybe with kneeling down, they would have been kneeling with their knees bent, or if they stood up straight, then they would have done their bodies, then they would have done their arms, and then once they've made the body parts and they've made the armor on it, they would then leave it to dry, and then after they've left it to dry, they would put it in this, which is like an oven for clay. It's called a kiln, and this kiln gets very, very hot, and it basically hardens the clay. It gets it so hot that the clay becomes really strong because it's been wet, then dried, then baked. And these were some of the weapons that are still around today. The weapons were really interesting, actually, and you can do some of your own research on this. The weapons had a slight coating on them. They were made of bronze, and they had a slight coating on them, which meant even though, as the soldiers got old, the weapons stayed in really good condition because the coating protected them from rusting or getting older. Today's task. Now, as you can see here, this terracotta army warrior looks slightly different than the last few. Let's have a look at some of the last ones again. You can see they're missing quite a lot. It's nothing to do with the design, it's something to do with the colour. And you can see here, all of these are quite a brown looking colour. Well, that's not how they originally started out. They originally started, you can just about faintly see on this, they had coloured hair, painted hair. They would have painted facial features such as the moustache or the eyebrows and even the eyes. And they would even have painted armour. So our today's task is, the soldiers have changed over time after being buried, and they've lost their colour. So the original soldiers used to look like this, and you can spot how fantastic that colour is. I want you to design your own terracotta army warrior. I want you to be very specific. As you can see, this armour isn't just one colour. It's got red, it's got dark red, it's got black on it, she's got blue underneath a pink overcoat, and then he even looks like he's got green face paint on there. So you can really experiment with some of the colours. Thinking about in the video that we had last week about the Forbidden Temple, had 5 special colours, which were all related to what they thought were the holy colours. Maybe you could use that information to help you with the terracotta army design. I look forward to seeing all your work on Tapestry. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.